Oh, this.
Everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral? Let's go viral then.
Say less.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS. Good morning and welcome to Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Rene Ruiz, and along with me is a man that is celebrating something that I'm not today, that is celebrating something that half of the NFL fans aren't celebrating today, that aren't going to be able to enjoy that beautiful morning coffee or energy drink for some of you guys, that aren't going to be able to enjoy that morning breakfast or that afternoon lunch or that evening dinner, that beautiful taste of victory. Not all of us are going to get to taste it, and I've already started mine. Sour. And let me introduce the other winning half of this week's slate. The man with the buys, the man with the tries, the one with the broad chest, the one, the only. John Borba. Welcome. Welcome, Johnny.
What's
Welcome.
going on?
I'll let you take the floor here as you gloat with your victory just a little bit. Just let me know what's in that head of a W.
Hey, well, I mean, you wake up, you feel a little bit better. All of a sudden, it doesn't look like as long of a season. But honestly, the way that all sides of the ball played, offense, defense, and special teams, against a Bengals team that I thought was going to compete a little bit better. I mean, just absolutely dominated them. Yeah, it was backups versus backups, but I think Carson Wentz obviously shows that he can run this offense at a pretty high level once everything starts to get clicking. Everything wasn't clicking at first, but you could see that just having a veteran quarterback there, you got some other guys involved that weren't really involved at all the first 2 weeks. So those are a couple good things. And, of course, the running game got going. The offensive line looked a little bit better. We had our center out, but we did have our starting left tackle. So everything is starting to click, and I think everything is starting to come together. I mean, not only did the Vikings win, but we could clip farm a couple discussions about this Cowboys defense that we should have clipped, but it's
Are we going there?
a little bit biasy, but we could have clipped it. It's just they're not clipped, and that was another issue. And then another thing is that the Packers lost, baby.
Oh.
It would have been perfect if the Packers, Cowboys, and Eagles lost, but the Eagles, it looks like they're getting some of that Chiefs magic is starting to carry over to them this year. Got away with a couple close victories last year. I think it's going to be the same thing with the Eagles this year. Yeah, so I don't
That's
know.
what we're doing. That's how we're starting off this morning. I love it.
Had to take
I
a
love it.
slight shot.
Little bit of spice, couple shots. There's a couple clips that will and should be coming out as we address what happened this weekend with the Cowboys. Unfortunately, I was on the wrong side of that. JB, I'm happy for you, brother. I was thinking about you as Carson Wentz. He's out there just cooking, and we got introduced to a gentleman with the last name Rogers and the first name not Aaron. You sent me a graphic 2 for 2. Buddy had an interception and a pick six, so shout out to him. Um, Dang, JB, tough. Let me tell you what.
Yeah.
Being on the win, all right, week one, it's not too sour because we put up a fight. Kind of expected to lose to Philly, but we put up a fight. Put up a solid impression of what to expect for the rest of the year out of the Cowboys. Then week two, the defense looks a little sloppy. And my argument to you guys, as y'all were just dishing it on me, telling me about how bad this secondary is, how bad this defense looks, horrible, one of the worst in the league. You guys kept telling me, kept feeding me, kept feeding me. And then I told you guys, I said, hey, relax. We need to chill out. This Cowboys defense is a situation of just trying to fit into the scheme. We're in the right positions. We're just not making the plays as players. I still somewhat feel that. I feel like Eberflus is putting us in somewhat of good situations. We are just lacking talent. We are lacking talent in Dallas right now. The secondary absolutely stinks. As Borba said on Thursday, Trayvon Diggs. Well, you didn't say this about Trayvon Diggs, but you probably should have used it for Trayvon Diggs. Is you used the analogy of the Farley's door here in Roswell, New Mexico, and it feels like Trayvon Diggs is that exact door, but he's just on a blender right now. Doesn't know exactly what to do right now in any situation, whether he's in man coverage or zone coverage, whether he has help over the top or help at the bottom. Slightly confused. He looks like he might be reading a Spanish book. Just doesn't really know what's going on. I feel bad for myself. I feel bad for my Cowboy fans, my peers. I feel bad for those people who put money on the Cowboys thinking that this was going to be a walk in the park, like myself.
That would have
JB,
been
the part
awful.
that hurt the most about this loss is so I followed Tim's picks. Tim, our college guru, gave us two picks, two locks. That was that Iowa on Friday was going to cover at -2.5, and the Florida Hurricanes or Miami Hurricanes, excuse me. Which hey, the snow out there in Florida was a little crazy in the pregame. If you saw Michael Irvin start twerking that little siren, but so they cover at 7.5. So I'm going into Sunday, bro. Man, when I wake up, I'm like, let's go. I went to the end. I had to work at the End of Mountain Gods on Friday, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna ride to him this weekend, and then I'm gonna put the Cowboys on the third leg. Like I -1.5. Like it feels like a gimme. Feels like a gimme. So I go to the machine. I put Iowa. I put Miami to cover, and then last one. I'm like, yep, this is it. I feel it. Like the energy's there. $30, let's do it. $30 to win 180, Borba. I'm like, let's go. 180, why not? 180, I'll take it on a Sunday. Why not? Place the wager, and head home. And then things just fall into place, right? Friday they hit, Saturday they hit. So Sunday I wake up, I'm pumped. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm in the perfect situation. The Cowboys are the last leg, and I know they're gonna win. I asked Adri, my wife, you mind making me some victory ribs? She's like, of course, right? Nice lady, love her. Makes us ribs. Bro. This is perfect. Perfect situation. Double shot of whiskey, black label, no problem. We sit down, have a sip. Oh my goodness, it's hitting so good, bro. I'm ready, bro. I'm so pumped. I already watched the 11 o'clock slate, like you said before the show. It's a little bit harder to pay attention to games after your game if you win, right? Because you want to watch the interviews, you want to watch all the highlights. Like you're pumped, you're juiced. But I paid attention. I was locked into those 11 o'clock games because I'm anticipating the joy that I'm going to feel around 5:30. Brother, oh my goodness, from the start. The moment that flea flicker happened in the first quarter
Mm.
and they score, I just told Adria, I'm like, hey, we signed up for this roller coaster ride. Not she didn't necessarily sign up for it. Well, she signed up for it whenever she married me, unfortunately. But I pulled her onto the roller coaster, right? She's scared. She don't want to be on this shit. She don't want to be on this cowboy ride at all. It's not fun. It's not cool. It's not the cool thing to do, Borba. It's not the cool thing to do to be a Cowboy fan. Like
It's
at
not.
this point, if you're a Cowboys fan, you're signing up for a death sentence in football. In football terms, that's a death sentence, right? Correct? That's what it feels like. At least that's what it feels like this week. JB, after that flea flicker, I'm told, hey, buckle up. We're on a roller coaster ride. I wasn't nervous until the third quarter, and then that's when it just felt like we were gonna come back. It felt like, all right, we're gonna weasel out one of those little close games. And as the third quarter starts to play out, it never came back. But after at halftime, if you saw my post, JB, I said this first half screams a mid-season trade or a week 3 trade. As of right now, Jerry Jones should be on the phone trying to look for a trade. And I thought to myself, I can't just be saying we need a trade. I got to have a solution for it too, right? I can't just be criticizing and not have an answer myself. So I thought, okay, if we want to trade, what are we looking for here? Obviously, it's on the defensive side of the ball, JB. We look like complete doo doo. So I'm looking at the teams that stink right now, right? And we saw what the Bengals look like. Burrow's probably not coming back, or he's not coming back for what 3 months. So I think at this point, after watching the Bengals play you guys, it's time to start looking to trade some of those pieces for some assets. So the first thing I thought was like, oh, Trey Hendrickson. They disrespected him this offseason. Why not, Dallas? We have all the capital in the world right now. Why not go after Trey Hendrickson? And then I thought to myself, just a little bit, this was an emotional moment for myself as I'm texting my friend Caleb. I said, there was a comment from Massadio. He said, what are we going to trade? What are we going to give up? I think it was Matt. It was somebody. What are we going to give up? So I thought to myself, emotional moment, right? I'm a Trayvon Diggs guy, but I said, all right, let's just send Trayvon Diggs and let's get Trey Hendrickson because the secondary is terrible. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and pick up the phone and call that free agent, Mr. Stephon Gilmore. Why wouldn't we call Stephon Gilmore? Wasn't Stephon Gilmore on the Minnesota Vikings team last year, Borba?
Mm-hmm.
And wouldn't you say Stephon Gilmore performed quite well last year?
Yeah.
I think Buddy's around 32-year-olds. No problem. We just need you from 1 year. We don't even need you to be our number one. Or unfortunately, for the Cowboys, we're looking for a number one. But that's my solution for the Cowboys right now. And I do see there's people that are saying we're not one player away. But we're not one player away from what? That's what you got to ask yourself. We're not one player away from what? We're not one player away from a Super Bowl. That's for sure. I think that's clear as day. But we're one player away from just needing a little bit of luck to get into those situations. We have to create those situations. Those situations are going to create themselves. That's why you see things like the Philadelphia Eagles where it just seems like nothing's going the way, but they just continue to put themselves in winning situations, Borba. It's all about putting yourself in winning situations, and Dallas just continues to not do that. I mean, how do you trot out this defense and expect? I mean, like you guys called it. And like I told you last week, there's a beauty to being a football fan. There's a stress to it. Is throughout the week, we know what our teams are. Monday, Tuesday. Come Wednesday, we flip the page. Come Thursday, Friday, we've somehow created this delusion in our head that we think our team is better than what they are. And maybe I'm just speaking for myself. I'm assuming a lot of people feel this way, right? We know what our teams are. But somehow we figure out a delusion in our head to think that our team is better. And that's every Cowboys fan right now. And guess what, JB? I'm going to mourn on it today. I'm going to sit on it tomorrow. And my coffee will probably taste good by Wednesday, Thursday. Because I'm somehow going to talk my way into thinking that the Packers are going to come to Dallas and somehow we're going to beat them. That's how dumb you have to be as a Cowboys fan to be slightly excited this week about the ass whooping that's coming. About the ass whooping that's coming this Sunday. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Jerry Jones, you have to make a trade this week. It has to happen. If it doesn't happen, JB, I feel so defeated as a Cowboys fan. So defeated. And let's flip the chapter into somebody that's winning. I'm sorry, JB. I might cry. I'm so sad. I might cry. This is so sad, bro. Caleb Williams. I told you on last week the delusion in my head. I said Dak Prescott's going to come out as offensive player of the week. And guess what? Not only did they crush my bet, but we also made Caleb maybe the game of the week, but for sure the offensive player of the week. For sure, the offensive player of the week. The nails on this guy are going to be insane, brother. The nail polish deals are going to be crazy. We made this brother look like an NFL Hall of Famer. This is crazy. But let's move on. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Vikings. Damn, bro.
And that was
Damn, Borba.
I'm not gonna lie, that was the longest rant for a team that's gonna finish 7-10 that I've ever seen in my life. Man, I was wondering when the heck is this guy gonna come to accept his fate? Like, man, dude, that was a rough way for you to cope. I mean, we just had a 19-minute long coping session with Renee, full therapy session. I mean, oh my gosh, man.
Oh,
I
Lord.
think these
Sorry. I
rants, the
apologize.
more you guys lose, are going to slowly start to just, you're going to, the time's going to trickle down. You're just going to be accepting it. I think right now it's a little new to you. Right now it's a little new to you. that teams like the Bears can just go in there and just womp all over Dallas right now. Like that's I think that's the hardest thing you got to cope about, and making Caleb Williams look amazing. Um, man, that's tough. It's tough. I'm glad, man.
Oh,
I see. Here's one thing as a football fan, I think in general, I'd rather have a good defense and a struggling offense, because the offense I feel like can always get its moments, and you can always get your moments. But if you have a bad defense, man, it's like going out there and you just know like every game's going to be a grind. Like I feel bad for Bengals fans. Well, now I feel really bad for Bengals fans, but Cowboys fans, the lack of defense. I mean, just when teams can slice you apart, shred your
yeah,
secondary like that, and you get no pressure. It's just like it sucks. Like you're almost like at a disadvantage right off rip.
and I keep saying we're gonna move on, but I just curious from your perspective. Am I far off here? Am I far off as far as saying we need to trade? We need an absolute trade to happen this week.
Here's the thing. I think you guys are caught up in too much money to make a trade for a big time player. I don't
They freed
know.
up a lot of money.
I just don't know, but then you got a guy like Trey Hendrickson who just got paid. Then you're gonna have to keep paying the dude. Like, and I just don't know if you guys can afford that. Like, and you have other spots you need to fill in that roster too. So, and now
Yeah,
with
right now, and
CeeDee Lamb most likely is going to miss 2 weeks or so with a high ankle
yeah, he's
sprain. He might
reports
play,
are
but
he's
I
gonna
don't
have an
know.
MRI today. He's gonna have an
So
MRI
I think
today,
that
so I think we'll probably get an answer mid show, probably here like around excuse me, here
possibly
around 7:15. We'll probably get an update from Adam Schefter, not us, but on X we'll probably get an update from Adam Schefter. So I'll keep an eye on that to see how that comes in. Hopefully, I mean, bro, I was scared. Honestly, as soon as he gets rolled up on, I'm thinking he broke his leg. I immediately went to my fantasy because I just offered a trade for CD Lamb. So I'm like, oh shit, I need to cancel that because if he broke his leg, then I'm so cooked. But yeah, man, tough, tough,
I think he's just
tough day out there. I had a good day in fantasy. Decent. Well, nah, bro, man, tough, 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 tough. We'll move on because I'm sure somehow we're going to spin this right back to the Cowboys, and we will probably talk about them more, unfortunately. But JB, they hurt me, bro. They killed me in every way. My parlay, uh, Dak's my quarterback on our dynasty league. Yeah,
rough.
tough. Damn, tough, 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 tough. Let's go, Bills Dolphins here real quick. This was a Thursday night football game. Buffalo improves to 3-0 with Josh Allen throwing 3 touchdowns. James Cook had a strong showing on the ground. A key interception by Terrell helped seal the win. We kind of, as we're watching that game on Thursday Night Football, JB, I was thinking about you and Earl, giving no hope to the Dolphins, basically shrugging it off as why are we even wasting this much time on talking about this Thursday night football game? And then it was a close game, and then slowly but surely, there in the fourth quarter, they pull away and win with the Tua. As Tua's, they're trying to drive down. I think Tua actually saved Mike McDaniel's from getting fired by throwing that pick. I think if you just watch that game, it feels like Mike McDaniel's knows what he's doing somewhat, right? I mean, not in his interviews, whenever he talks, someone's got to take a mic from the guy sometimes. It sounds slightly dumb, sounds too much. He sounds too much like myself, just too uneducated. Get him off the mic. I'm just playing, bro. It's hard. I hate football so much right now.
See, look at this. This guy's
I hate
full
football
coping
so much,
session
bro.
Monday morning. We should instead of
Yeah,
naming our show Overreaction Monday, coping session Monday. I mean, it's just literally that's what it is. We just got to cope. Got to spend an hour coping with
okay.
reality of our teams. Kinda.
So I'm thinking maybe I need like one of those therapy beds where I get to like lay down, or just
Yeah.
mic me up, and you sit on the chair and just allow me to let it rip.
I think we need a real
This is
therapist
this
for
is
that
so
because
depressing. This is
I
so
just don't wanna hear
depressing,
it,
bro.
dude. I don't want to hear anything about the Cowboys anymore. Like I just don't
All
want
right,
to.
all right, we're done. We're done. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Here we go. But Browns, Packers, Browns. What seems to be a boring game unless you tuned in the fourth quarter when it was tight.
Yeah,
Um, I don't want to shit on the Packers defense too much. I did text Earl right away. Obviously, this was an 11 o'clock game, so I'm kind of still sitting high. I texted Earl right away, and I'm like, it would have been nice to have a pass rusher there in those final 2 minutes, right? As a joke, throwing a little shade at Micah Parsons, assuming that we're gonna win. I throw that shade, but that is true. That statement is true. It would have been nice to have a pass. It would have been nice to have your $200 million pass rusher perform for you and get that victory, because that's what you expect, right? Whenever you have a defense like what we think the Packers are right now, like how you said, you'd rather have a great defense and a slow offense, and it's kind of what the Packers are going through right now, or at least in Week 3. Um, uh, Dang, bro, that's crazy. Sorry, my brain keeps spinning to us taking that L. But JB, I do want you to hear this real quick. I real quick while I pull it up. Just what's your thoughts on that Browns and Packers game there?
Well, I saw a little bit of I didn't see the full thing, but I think there was a red zone turnover where the Packers were about to score. I could be totally wrong. But what I did see too out of that, I saw the same thing that you kind of get out of Jordan Love. I saw some inaccurate passing. I didn't see the best game out of Jordan Love, and that's one thing that Packers fans got to live with. That's I don't know. Like I've been
That's
saying it.
part
Like
of it.
I've never been high on Pack. I've never been high on Jordan Love. Never been high on Jordan Love. The inconsistency with the turnovers, the inaccuracy.
Well, this is
I don't
JB.
know why he doesn't get as much hate on that as like a Caleb Williams, because
Well,
honestly, like Caleb Williams is just as
hey,
radical as that.
before you start cooking him, Um, let me play you this clip. This is from ESPN Milwaukee. This is Homer says you can't trust Jordan Love. Homer, I'm assuming it looks he looks like he's the lead radio guy from Milwaukee. So it sounds like he covers
He's just a Green
the
Bay homer.
Packers very well, right? So let me just play this for you real quick.
Jordan Love. I don't care if they're paying him $100 million. I don't care how good you think he is, but you cannot trust him. That is done and over. You must recognize one of his weaknesses, and there are other strengths, is his ability to do incredibly stupid things, and you cannot give him the opportunity, because the next time it happens when you do, it's going to cost you something way bigger than this. You cannot trust Jordan Love. I don't care if they're paying him $100 million. I don't care how good you.
Yep, that was
Wow,
accurate.
is it fair to say that's how you've been feeling?
Yeah, that's what I've been saying, but I don't know. People just want to dismiss it. But that's one thing. That's an Achilles heel of the Packers right now. And until Jordan Love can fix that, they're going to have these ups and downs throughout each week. And when you play a pretty solid defense like the Browns that could keep them in the game, this is what happens. This is what happens. So there's got to be more consistency offensively. I don't want to see more consistency offensively, but it now the NFC North is kind of wide open. NFC North after this week, we're starting to see what these teams are. I think the first 2 weeks the Packers were super overhyped. And honestly, the first 2 weeks playing the Commanders, not the best, not the most solid defense, but a respectable defense. But Jaden Daniels and that offense just can't really push the ball down the field, and they still have some some inability to throw the ball in certain areas, certain
Yeah.
aspects of Jaden Daniels' game. So I feel like that's always hindered their offense. So I just these first 2 weeks out of the Packers, obviously week one, just pure hype. You're in the emotion at home, and we saw that. Now tonight's a big test for Detroit too. But I think we're seeing how this is going to shape up into possibly if the Bears get a little bit more consistent, uh, which I think they're going to be up and down, but I think this is a good 3-man race again. It's going to be a good 3-team race in the NFC North. We're not going to know to the last 2 weeks of the season who the winner of this division is going to be, and I think it's going to be a lot closer than last year. Now that the Packers are a little bit better, they should be better. So every
Yeah, I
team is
don't I
going to
don't
be looking for about 12 wins, I think.
I don't want to over exaggerate on the Packers, because I mean injuries are going to happen. Injuries are part of the game, right? You got to get lucky every now and then. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to keep drilling it in our heads. You got to get a little bit of luck. You got to have a little bit of luck. We got to remember, Earl did tell us coming on Thursday, coming into this game, uh, they are missing two of their key offensive linemen, and I think we definitely saw that from them. I mean, these guys couldn't run the ball to save their life. Josh Jacobs may have had one of his worst games. I had him on my fantasy team, so I know that really hurt for myself. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and just like Michael Parsons said in his interview, like sometimes you just shit the bed, and that this is one of those games where they absolutely did do that, and I expect them to. I wouldn't panic if I'm Green Bay until this week. This weekend, you absolutely cannot let this game slide. You're on Sunday Night Football. You're going against the Cowboys. Michael Parsons' homecoming. I'm going to pause any panic with Green Bay until this weekend. I don't think you start freaking out until Sunday
No.
Night Football.
Either way,
No,
yeah.
you
Either
disagree.
way, the NFC North is going to be a grind. Teams are going to have their ups and downs. I think we've seen that out of everyone. Detroit had an awful week 1. Minnesota had an awful week 2. I mean, awful week 1 and 2. Just happened to squeeze out a win week 1, and then Green Bay. It was Green Bay's turn week 3, and then all of a sudden Chicago shined this week. So I think it's going to be a good race. It's going to be a respectable race for sure in the North.
It sure is. And JB, while we pause right quick, we're going to bring on Tim Foley to educate us just a little bit more on what happened this college football weekend. And after we get done with a little bit of college football talk, we'll get into the Eagles Rams game. There was a big fella that made a huge play running down the field. We'll get into that in just a few. But right now, we have our former UNM alum, former cornerback, Tim Foley. Welcome, Tim. Welcome.
Morning, guys. I'm sure it's a hard
Morning.
morning for you, Renee.
Oh, brother, I just had a 20-minute therapy session. I put us way back on schedule on what we should be talking about. But it was nice to, let me just say, it was nice to get it off my chest. I'm definitely still yo, you would think something happened to me because I genuinely feel sad. Like legit, feel sad. Feel like the season, yeah. Well, we're not even gonna go there, Tim.
Season's
Let's
over.
move on to this beautiful college football talk. Your boy, the one guy that you put as your number one Heisman leading into week 4 of college football. Week 4, right? I'm saying that correctly. Week 4, they started
Um,
week before the NFL.
well, we are actually going into week 5 this week. So this last weekend was week
Week
4.
5.
Yeah.
Head. Cool. Week 5. Our boy, yet again, get another victory, Diego Pavia. And how are we feeling about them? I know it was somewhat of a cheeky game as far as like who we're playing, but solid W, yeah?
It was a good game, and they put up 70 points. I mean, they won 70-21. I did not think they'd be putting up 70 points. Vanderbilt is a team built to win football games, not necessarily run up the scoreboard, but they did just that. They did what they needed to do against a pretty weak Georgia State team, getting them ready for these upcoming weeks. Vanderbilt has a pretty tough schedule coming up these next 7
Mhm.
weeks. So
Hell yeah. And our boy Carson Beck, number 1 on your leaderboard for the Heisman. Carson Beck showing off another solid performance. Tim, I don't know if you heard the rant in the first half. I did follow your picks with Iowa and Miami, and then I was an idiot and added the Cowboys as the third leg. So of course that's why I lost. But yeah, your boy Carson Beck. How do we feel about his performance?
No, it was a great team win for Miami. For Carson Beck, it was not the Heisman performance that you would have expected. He went 17 of 30, 160 yards, no passing touchdowns, and threw one INT. But at the end of the day, they got the W. And if you're really looking at it, they play Florida State this week, which is going to be a very tough game for them. But if they get past this week, they have a pretty weak schedule for the rest of the season. So they can get through Florida State this weekend. You can see them in the ACC championship game on December 6th playing to get into those playoffs.
Ooh, I don't know if we've asked you this, but who do you have as your top 4 going into the playoffs as of right now? Or I guess
As
not
of
as of right now, but like, what do you think's going to be there at the end of the year?
At the end of the year, I'm saying Ohio State. I say Georgia, Miami, and then that fourth one is not really 100% sure. It could be Oregon. We'll see a lot more after this weekend when they play Penn State if they're going to be one of those top 4 teams. But right now, I'm gonna have to put Oregon at there 4, just until we see them this weekend.
We're giving up on our boy Archie after that beautiful offensive display this week. Finally getting some confidence. They keep saying it's a mental thing. It's mental. It's mental. It's mental. You saw a little bit of that come out this weekend. What do we think about Archie's performance here?
I think he did well. I don't see them as a top four team right now. They're still kind of putting things together. They beat up on a Sam Houston State team. You saw them get a little bit more explosive, kind of what you've been expecting for them these last few weeks. I just don't see them as a top four team right now. I do see them making some noise. I really hope that they keep putting stuff together and becoming more gelled of a team for towards the end of the season.
Hell yeah. And last thing, Tim. Last thing before I let you go, I appreciate you coming on today, brother, on such a short notice. UNM and New Mexico State are playing this Saturday. That's feels like a huge deal, right? You went there, you got to experience what that felt like. What's the atmosphere going into such a big rivalry game like that?
This week is one of the best weeks whenever you're getting ready for a game. There's a lot of outside noise. It's one of those games that you kind of just want to be in your shell, stay in the stadium and the facilities a little bit more this week. You don't really want to be reading the headlines and stuff like that. A lot of people don't realize this is actually one of the longest rivalry games in the country. This rivalry dates back to before New Mexico was even a state. The first time that they met was on January 1st of 1894. And that was
Wow.
actually 18 years before New Mexico was even a state in the Union. Um, they call it a rivalry. I don't really call it a rivalry. UNM is leading 75-35 overall, so it's not much of a rivalry. UNM kind of does what they need to do. They're 14-point favorites going into this game. Whenever I played in it, I I only lost in New Mexico State once. It was my true freshman year. That was actually the game I came out of my red shirt. It was the first game that I started as a Lopo was against New Mexico State. We ended up losing that game, but then I didn't lose to them again. And the last time we played, UNM won 66-17. So it really wasn't much of a game. It was kind of more of a could have been a bye week for us, but go Lobos and go
Shots.
beat the Aggies this week.
Yeah, a baby. Taking a couple shots to New Mexico State. Shout out to them Las Cruces boys. Shout out Albuquerque. Let's go. There's a little different issues in the actual city. We won't get there, but shout out to their football team. I appreciate you joining the show, Tim. Thank you so much, man. I look forward to that UNM New Mexico State game this weekend. Tim
It'll be a good
Foley.
one to watch.
Yep.
Fortunately, we didn't get too smart this year, or we didn't get too smart this week because of your therapy session that your boy just had. So I apologize to Tim about that this morning, but thank you for coming on, Tim. I appreciate him so much, brother. JB, like I said, let's jump right back into. Hey, real quick, how much like do you follow UNM at all?
A little bit.
Hey,
I've been seeing, a big win against UCLA and a couple things like that. So I've been following him a little bit.
yeah, yeah. Every time I see something cool, I'm like, hell yeah, go
Yeah.
you guys. Go you guys. Showing love to him. But JB, let's jump right back into NFL. Shout out Tim for educating us just a little bit on that. Let's go Diego Pavia. Get us into the playoffs. Why not? You and Theo Vom and your mom. Why not? Eagles Rams though. Eagles pull off a dramatic win. Some teams just know how to win. I wish I understood that statement a little bit better. Uh, Eagles, they trailed by 19 in the second half. They scored 26 unanswered points, Borba, following Jordan Davis's blocked field goal and returned it for a touchdown. That big boy was chugga, 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 chugga. There was a lot of criticism coming into this game because A.J. Brown had very little touches. And a lot of that noise was probably coming from a lot of fantasy owners, not too excited about how what I called an explosive offense. And you said, nope, no, no, no. That offense is not explosive whatsoever. And guess what? Jalen Hurts said, hold on. Hold my beer, sir. Let me show you guys what can happen if they unleash me. I didn't say it. He said it, or he kind of said it with his play, balling out. Finally getting it to AJ Brown. They drive down, get the lead. Rams get the lead, and then you see, or Rams go down. Should have probably won that game. You know what's crazy is when that field goal happens. I look at Adrian and I'm just like, I hate how conservative the Dolphins or the Rams were on that final drive. For whatever reason, bro, I hate how whenever you have so much momentum and you're driving down with the passing game, like let's just go try to score. I get it, you don't want to turn the ball over, but then you allow these situations to present themselves. And sometimes I mean, gosh, bro, Jordan Davis, what a dog, running straight to the middle, blocking that kick, being able to recover his own block and take it back to the house. That big boy was running, JB. What was your takeaways from this game?
I mean, overall, I mean, we had this question earlier. Do you think what do you think about the adversity overcame by Jalen Hurts? I mean, this is exactly the type of Jalen Hurts performance that you need, kind of. And obviously, like the offense, like they're not gonna be throwing all over the place, right? They did it. Jalen Hurts did it on the ground. Still, Saquon was still involved. They got all these guys involved, still down by freaking 20 some points, and the offense. Once you had to get some things together, you start getting some momentum, a couple touchdowns here and there, a couple stops, get the ball back. I mean, you have every opportunity to win with Jalen Hurts. That's one thing that he can do. He might not blow you away with his arm talent, might not blow you away with some of his decision making. Actually, he does blow you away with his decision making because he can take care of the ball really, really well. Um, I guess it's just the way that he kind of plays. It's like very conservative in a sense, but he's always kind of the ball's always getting moved forward, either with his legs, either with his arm. You know, it's just kind of a classic Jalen Hurts kind of performance, the type that we've seen in the Super Bowl. Not necessarily in the first half, but in the second half, yes. So the team just came together. Defense made plays when it needed to. And then special teams. I mean, a couple huge blocks. Not only do you get one field goal block, but you get two field goal blocks a game. I don't know if they found something wrong with that line in the special teams game. I don't know if they found a weakness in it. I don't know what happened, but when you got Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis right there as blocking field goals, a chance to make plays happen, they did it. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, the Eagles definitely showed up in the second half. Got the dub when you needed him to get the dub. Jalen Hurts, of course, great performance. Kept this team in the game. AJ Brown finally got involved. It sucks that it takes AJ Brown to be down 20-something points to finally get involved in the offense. So I think that needs to change. I've been hearing
You
things
know what, JB,
that
before you make your next statement, do we need to consider the fact that they do have a new offensive coordinator as well? So that may have an effect
maybe
on the slow start offensively. I mean, we've
maybe
seen this team somewhat look slow on offense the last couple of years because they've had a rotation of offensive coordinators. Obviously, they go and win the Super Bowl with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore might be regretting going over to New Orleans, taking that head coaching job. Probably not the best situation to be in over there. But yeah, dude,
definitely not.
maybe that has anything that's impacting what's going on right now.
I think right now
'Cause the
it's either the
second half was
player, like
completely different from the first.
it could just be like how Robert Ross is saying he's too vanilla. So like the creativity is not there. Um, being a little bit more diverse offensively, putting guys in motion. That's kind of like the new age offense, right? And if you don't
Yeah,
see that, if it's kind of vanilla, if it's kind of basic, then it's very easy for a defense to pick up on that. So maybe they start incorporating more creativity offensively, coming out in more formations, motions, quick snaps, fast tempo. Just kind of you got to change the pace
I
up a little bit, kind of have some nuances into the offense. So maybe if we see that more, the offense might get going a little bit. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it's too early
yeah,
to
yeah,
see if
yeah.
the coordinator, just to write off the coordinator. But those are some
That's what I
concerning
see a lot.
things.
I see a lot of that on X right now. A lot of Eagle fans upset, bro. Man, their fan base is crazy. Y- I'm actually, I'm actually a little jealous of the Eagles, and
They get players that they
man,
want to get
bro,
players.
and they first their GM Howie just he's they make every move possible. I mean, just did you dare? Zadarius Smith being a free agent and they go and get him as soon as they have a bad take on defense the week before that. Like they're just being, gosh, the Eagles are everything you want your team to be right now. Everywhere from the organization to the players to what seems like the Cowboys, everyone is just locked in one motion. That team just knows how to win. Man, the one thing that I just find fascinating that just hypes me up so much is how juiced up that fan base is. At first, I'm like, what? These guys are freaking booing. Like, these guys are booing the Eagles at going into the half. And it's like, damn. Like they just won the Super Bowl last year. Like let's be somewhat encouraging, right? And then they come out second half. They start coming back. Blah blah. Obviously, they set expectations for their team. That's what they do. This is the Philly baby. But they score, and that place is going bonkers. And then you got the whole crowd doing their song. Eagles. Eagles. Not gonna lie, I was like, damn, that would be cool. That would be nice. I Whenever I see you guys do it, what's funny is my youngest daughter, she likes. Oh, it's so cool. It makes this stuff even more fun. She likes to watch our clips, and one of her favorite clips is the one where we're doing the skull chant. Skull,
Yeah.
skull. So I'll have to send you a clip of her doing it. And she's like, she'll be all, "Boo, boo, skull, boo, boo, skull," and then she does your little thing at the end when you're like, "Bro, I mean, come on." And I just every time I watch that, I'm like, that's I wish as a Cowboys fan base we had something like that. We legit don't have any chance. We're vanilla. We're vanilla like the Eagles offensive coordinator. But JB, let's go. Let's move on to this Steelers Patriots game. What seemed to be an amazing start by the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They Pittsburgh Steelers defense had a showing yesterday that I think revived Steeler fans around the world. What they did, causing 2 turnovers in the first half right away, being able to try to give this team the momentum to just completely blow out a team that they probably should have in the New England Patriots. They kept them in the game because of lack of offense. But man, finally we see the potential of the Steelers. And what I wrote down here is the Steelers still in the first half. The Steelers defense was proving me right for what I said last week. We got to calm down. We got to slow it down. They got a lot of vets trying to come together as one. And I think as the season goes on, that defense is going to carry them. I think we still need to keep an eye on the offense. How consistent can that offense be? How consistent can Aaron Rodgers be? Didn't have a great game in Aaron Rodgers. He even said in his post conference, you got to chalk that up to the defense. And every now and then you do, like you said, I'm gonna keep drilling this today. Like you said, you'd rather have a great defense and a struggling offense than what the Cowboys have, unfortunately. And I think that's what we're seeing in Pittsburgh. I think slowly we're going to see that offense start to click as the defense just we already know what the defense is. We just got to keep holding them to that standard. What do you think about this game?
Well, I kind of have a little bit different take on
Let's hear it. Let's hear
the
it.
Steelers kind of got bailed out. I don't want to say bailed out, but the Patriots did have two turnovers inside the 5 yard line um,
I did
Sunday
notice that too.
against against the Steelers. So literally, if there's no turnovers, that's points on the board, which changes the trajectory of this game. Yeah, the score was 21-14, but I mean, you get at least 2 field goals inside the 5, maybe a touchdown and a field goal, then the game is rewritten a little bit differently. So I'm going into this week. Obviously, Steelers play the Vikings in Ireland, Dublin. It's going to be a big game.
7:30.
It's gonna be it's gonna be early, but I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna be watching it, so it's gonna be an interesting game in the sense that I don't know how good I feel about this team still. Like, still huge question marks in Pittsburgh, and they haven't really been tested in the sense where there's a lot of pressure on their defense. There's a lot of, I guess the Jets obviously did that, but they gave up 32 points to Jets. So now you get another test with Minnesota starting to get healthy again, starting to click. I think we're getting a little bit of that Wentz magic. I'm telling you, I think we're getting some of that Wentz
Here we
magic.
go.
It's a
Here we
redemption
go.
tour for Carson Wentz from that 2018 season when Nick Foles took over after his injury. I'm gonna keep saying it. I think we ride it out. I think he's gonna keep progressing over these next few weeks, and it's going to be an interesting game. But I think the offense is still lacking in certain areas in Pittsburgh. The defense, yeah, they held them to 14 points, but I think that could have changed if they didn't turn over the ball over. That's just bad offense
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
in the
yeah.
goal line offense by the
It, I,
Patriots, which is a young team.
you
You know,
you
so
mentioned Nick Foles. You mentioned Nick Foles, and I can't help but laugh to think that is it possible that Nick Foles may have ruined football because now we all have the expectations that some backup is going to come save our season. And if we look
man,
back, Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hey, Victory Monday. I get it. But we've put ourselves in the situation. I mean, we saw it last year with Cooper Rush with the Cowboys. Like, you know, he comes in as backup. They win like 2 games, and people are losing their shit. Like, should we bench Dak? It feels like that's kind of the situations that we get in this week, where we just assume, like everybody right away looks to Nick Foles did it. Nick Foles did it. The only reason that I have faith that Carson Wentz can make a run is because like that Nick Foles team, that Philadelphia's team, that was the best defense in the league. And I mean, you said it. You'd rather have a great defense and a slow progressing offense. And I mean, it feels like that's what you guys have. Those boys are buzzing over there. Boys are buzzing. I know they were playing a Joe Burrow-less Bengals team, but brother, you guys look good.
Still, that
You
dude,
guys look good on
yeah,
defense.
that and Jake Browning's no scrub. Like I think he has like 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's like 4-3 now. He's 4-4, obviously, but like he's put up respectable numbers. And you still got Chase Brown, you still got Jamar Chase, you still got T Higgins. A lot of those dudes on offense who can still make plays. Just give him the ball, right? And
Yep.
he was getting pressured, he was getting hurried, he was getting sacked. And you got to remember this. I think only two teams. I think two teams have the right to say, "Oh, our backups are this and that." Obviously, the Eagles when Nick
Exactly.
Foles came in 2018, and who was the other team in the NFC Championship game that they played with a backup quarterback? Case Keenum.
Mr. Case
We've done
Keenum.
it. We've done it with Case Keenum before. We've done this crap with Sam Darnold, guys that are written off. Why not the like? I don't think you guys look at this stat. The
Tell
Vikings
us.
won 14 games with a ginger last year. Oh, well, guess who their ginger quarterback is now this year, baby? That's the
Do
last time
tell.
we had a ginger quarterback. We won 14 games that season. Who says we can't do it again with another
What
ginger
the
quarterback
redhead?
who's not afraid to gunsling it, who's mobile in the pocket, who's not going to take sacks, who's not going to see deer in the headlight? Like, I'm riding high on Wentz right now.
Let's go.
We're going to see how that plays out.
For,
But
former former Super Bowl champ. Watch y'all's
yeah, come
mouths.
on. Put some
Watch y'all's
respect on the
mouth.
name. Almost an MVP
Come on.
candidate. MVP
Oh
candidate.
man,
Come on.
this roller coaster ride
This guy with
that you're
and
setting
now
yourself for.
now we're getting Jordan Addison back this year. I mean, this game. Getting Jordan Addison back. TJ Hawkinson doesn't look washed anymore all of a sudden. Weird how that works. I mean,
He's
dude
back.
had touchdowns, some good catches, some yards. I mean, he was moving on
We're,
offense. I don't think he's washed.
nope, we're
I
back.
think the life is
We're
alive in Minnesota.
we're all the way
We're
back.
yeah, we're getting all the way back. And if we go
Well,
undefeated during
JD.
this run, I think we sit McCarthy. I think we set him for a strategic purpose. Like this offense
You did
can't
say
be
that.
run by a freaking rookie. Essentially, like we got veterans that are making this offense look good. Rookies, JJ McCarthy. I just don't know if he's ready. I don't know if he's ready. So if
Oh
we go undefeated in the
no.
stretch, come out of the bye week, and we have Philly on our roster out of the bye week, why not? Why not ride high with Carson Wentz still? Why not?
Oh, against his former team that he won a Super Bowl with? Oh,
Come
what a
on.
storyline going into that week.
Come
We're
on,
riding
baby.
high on this Minnesota Vikings team. Borba, I just want to let you know, we do the SKOL Challenge show, we won. And then last week, we didn't do it,
Yeah,
and we lost.
we lost.
We got to ride high.
Hey, ride
Hit me
high,
with the
baby.
horn. Hit me with the horn.
Doom, doom. 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 Skull. Let's go, baby.
Bro, we're so bad.
Viking
We're
season,
so bad.
baby. Riding
Here
high
we
again.
go. 7:30 in the morning
Riding
with
high.
all the Irishmen, all the red. Carson, I just realized Carson Wentz going to be at home with all the Reds. Let's go. We're going to do a little
It's a game for
leprechaun
us
dance
to
out
lose.
there.
It's a game for
Come
Minnesota
on.
to
That's
lose.
what?
It's a game for Minnesota to lose if we don't come out right. Because we should be projected to win. We should be projected to win.
We did all that for you to do that.
I'm just saying it's a game for us to lose. Like I'm not saying we're going to lose. I'm saying it's a game for us to lose. Like we're going
Yeah,
into it
but
winning.
the hype we just set up around that and then you drop it with that. That's crazy.
I'm
That's
just saying, like, no, I don't
blasphemy
mean it
right
like we're
there,
gonna
bro.
lose. I mean, like, it's a game for us to win, but like it's a game for us to like to like
That was a
we
downer.
have to lose that
That
game
was a
ourselves.
downer.
The Steelers are not gonna beat us. We gotta beat ourselves. That's the only way we lose
Let's
that
just
game.
I
I just should
I
have
didn't think
reworded it better.
I
I
didn't
should
think
have
your
reworded it
brain was
better.
going there. Yeah. I
I
didn't
should have
think your brain
reworded
was
it
going
better.
there. We were sitting up here and then you kind of brought us back to reality. I didn't like that one. I didn't like that one.
I'm
But
sorry.
hey, riding high are these Colts.
Speaking of riding high,
Colts 41-20 victory. I mean, this team came out hot. The Colts stayed perfect at 3-0 as they're led by Jonathan Taylor's 3 touchdowns and early defense fireworks. That boy, Danny Dimes, or formerly known as Danny Dimes, now known as Indiana Jones, 18 for 25 for 228 yards, no problem. One passing
no
touchdown,
problem.
no interceptions. That's the key stat right there. His buddy is throwing to the correct team for what feels like this the first time in his career. Shout out to him. JT, that's that, as much as I love Daniel Jones's story here, we can't forget about the engine that's running that team, and that is Jonathan Taylor. I mean, Jonathan Taylor 2 years ago held out, had disputes with the team. I almost requested a trade at one point because he wanted out of Indy because he wanted to get paid. And there was a lot of pushback. Even Pat McAfee was a little distraught about the situations that were going out there in Indianapolis. And then finally they get the deal done. They look a little sluggish with Anthony Richards. They bring in this miracle of a man who's turned his career around in Daniel Jones. But let's not forget that the engine runs with Jonathan Taylor. And shout out to JT because he's making so many of us fantasy owners happy who still have faith and still believe that this guy still had the juice in him. I mean, what do you think about JT, this JT led Colts team, JB?
I think it all starts with the ground game, and now that he's healthy. The offensive line is blocking good. He's making plays. He's breaking tackles. I mean, you got everything set up for Daniel Jones to have a resurgence to his career. I mean, you got your weapons on the outside. You got a Tyler Warren, man, who's a stud in his own right, and then a healthy Jonathan Taylor. I mean, that offense. And right now, what we're seeing out of the AFC South, all these up and down. CJ Stroud, he's still looking a little bit rough. Obviously, Titans, you're gonna have some growing pains with Cam Ward. Um, Jaguars, they're kind of up and down too. I mean, this is for the Colt. This is the Colts division to lose right now. So they just have to keep performing, keep managing the ball on offense, and it all starts with the run game. You keep that run game going, you're gonna have success. You're gonna have success, and that defense is playing well too. So right now, this team is looking like the dark horse in the AFC who can cause some havoc in December.
Yep.
So they just got to keep it moving. Daniel Jones, keep progressing. Um, yeah, it's crazy
Yeah,
what the Giants have done to some of these players who have now revived their career. You know, what does that say about the Giants? So it's
yeah.
it's
Hey, and
interesting.
also, shout out Shane Steichen. I mean, is this guy just as good as like OKC or OKC? Your boy KC. Shout out Russell Westbrook, huh? Uh, Yeah, you think like this guy could be up there with Sean McVay? I mean, this is a guy from the Sean McVay tree, right? If I remember correctly. I mean, I know Super Bowl champ was with Philly. What a dog out there, and now he's his the fruit of his labor is being shown. So shout out to the Colts, and the Colts now have the Rams next week in LA. That's going to be an interesting game, and then they got the Raiders, Cardinals, and Chargers. So they got a good little stack of teams that they're about to go up against. I
Yep.
look forward to it very much. JB, what was your standout player, or maybe you don't want to overreact, but what team do you have in what team's fan base do you feel like should be overreacting right now, either positive or negative?
Honestly, well, I mean, you said standout player. Obviously, the standout player, Isaiah Rogers, Minnesota Vikings. Right now, I think you got Minnesota riding high too to say that. And that's not me being biased, but to have some iffy moments in the first 2 weeks and then just dominate a team like that. Yeah, it was battle of the backups, but Isaiah Rogers, first player in NFL history to have a pick six and then a fumble six and then to force another fumble on top of that. So the defense, he forced 2 fumbles, had a pick 6. The defense is playing really well. We're getting healthy. Harrison, I mean, the biggest difference on this whole entire defense is one man, future Hall of Famer Harrison Smith. And you don't see that. You kind of saw a solid defensive performance week 1 and week 2, but when he's on the field, that defense is just locked in. He's got full control of that entire defense. He can line up guys. They disguise things better. The way that this defense flies around when Harrison Smith is on the field is second to none. And I don't think there's another defensive player in the league right now that has that type of control over his team defensively. And it's crazy to see that difference. So right now in Minnesota, I think you're flying high on Minnesota for sure. And then, of course, Philly and that Jalen Hurts performance, that comeback, you can't disregard that. You cannot disregard that right now.
Sure.
And now they're going to get some of that. You know, they're finding ways to win, kind of how we saw the Chiefs do last year with all these blocked field goals and these late heroic performances. Like some teams just know how to win, and that's, I mean, Philly's flying high after that one for sure.
JB, closing statements to end the show before we send these beautiful people off to work, which I appreciate you guys joining us. I appreciate you guys taking your time to come chat with us about the craziness that's happening in the NFL. JB, first, Browns. We're done with the Joe Flacco thing. We get it. We get it. That's not the best option right now. It feels like you guys are setting yourselves up to lose week by week. Just give us a chance to see what these rookies have. They won, sure. Looked ugly. Shouldn't have won. Come on. And JB, last thing we'll end with this. Baker Mayfield, you said last week this guy is an absolute a dog. I apologize to the man because we had a moment of silence for him about 2 years ago, right before or when he was sent over to the Carolina Panthers. At what point, though, I love that they're pulling out these wins, these tight wins, but the fact that they're allowing teams to stay in it concerns me just a little bit. Like, shout out to Baker to be able to drive down and get them the win after, what was it, a fumble block where they returned to take the lead. I just don't like that they're giving the teams that they should be kind of just closing out an opportunity. I think that's a level of concern if I'm a Bucs fan, but as of right now, I'm still gonna ride high. I like the situation I'm in because at the end of the day, winners win, and right now Baker Mayfield is showing us that exact thing.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. They need to finish off teams. I can understand week 1 and week 2, but to have the Jets block that field goal, then take the lead, like essentially they should have put them away, you know. And that's where you just gotta tighten up. Just gotta be a little bit better in certain areas. And they might learn from this, and they might take it. And who knows? Maybe next week they get a blowout win. You know, but right now you can't win like this every week. For sure.
Well, I appreciate you guys joining us today on Overreaction Monday, the one day where we get to just absolutely unleash what happened on the weekend before. As a sad Cowboys fan, if you guys go watch the first 20 minutes of this therapy session that me and Borba had, go check it out. But if not, let's have a day. Let's have the best day. And don't be afraid to just text someone. Let them know you love them. Let them know you're thinking about them. We appreciate you guys joining us this morning, and let's have a day. Cheers.
Everybody trying to be content creators and trying to